they had a lot of choices for stained glass. So when they were deciding, well, who should make our windows, the choices they had, well, they could have gotten windows from England, you know, because the English were making gorgeous windows at the time, and St. Mark's, you know, all the churches in Center City, Philadelphia, are full of English windows, you know. Here, beautiful English windows in Philadelphia, and they're a little bit different, but very, very gorgeous windows, gorgeous painting in them, and somewhat Gothic too. They could have gotten windows from England, but wait a minute, the Revolution against whom? Maybe that's not such a good idea. So England was out, so maybe they could go to Bavaria, because the Bavarians were making windows very cheaply in those days. The cost of labor in Bavaria was dirt cheap. It was like getting your clothes, your electronics from Malaysia. They were better and cheaper, a deadly combination, so much so that people in New York petitioned Congress to put a tariff on German windows. It was that bad. It didn't work. They had to hire Germans to come here and make windows for them. But they could have done windows like that. I mean, that's Gothic, and that's gorgeous. I mean, look at that. I mean, man, you know, they could have chosen those. But, you know, in the end, they decided not to. They could have chosen Tiffany, Louis Comfort Tiffany. So here's a couple windows that were in an Episcopal church in Philadelphia that we ended up putting in a museum in the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Art. So anyway, they could have chosen windows like Louis Comfort Tiffany, where they're kind of illusionistic and it looks like you're seeing real scenes. So you know, they could have had, that could be Cincinnatus himself there, you know, Roman legion. So anyway, they could have done something like that, but in the end, they decided on this kind of Gothic style because it makes the building feel like a cathedral in a way. When it's dark in here and the light pours in, it gives this place, the sparkle of all these tiny little pieces, gives this place an atmosphere that just feels holy. You know, and I see it when, and Gardner, you must see it, when people come in here, nobody shouts, nobody laughs, they recognize it immediately. Yes. They're in a holy space. Yes, yes. This is a special environment, and they knew from their travels to Europe that this would do it. This style of window would do it. So that's why these windows look this way. So who's going to make them? There was William Willett in Philadelphia. There was Koenig in New York. They could have chosen anybody. They ended up choosing a guy in Philadelphia named Nicola DeScenzo, who emigrated to the United States when he was 11 years old, went to the Pennsylvania Museum School, which is like Broad and Pine, is where I went to, and he also went to the Academy of Fine Arts. He ended up teaching there. He was a mural painter, and he took some time off and went to Europe, took a couple years and spent them in Europe, and he got the bug for stained glass there. And he spent a lot of time in French cathedrals, staring at the windows, and when he came back a couple years later, he set up his own studio, first on Chestnut Street, like around 10th and Chestnut. This is one of his most important projects. He also has windows in the Cathedral of St. John the Divine in New York, the Folger Shakespeare Library, the National Cathedral in Washington. But I think this, you know, this and the Folger Library is one huge window. But this is his major opus, where the whole place bears his hand.